Saudi Arabia restricts volume of mosque speakers. So I thought this was very interesting. As part of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's extensive modernization initiative, Saudi Arabia restricted the use of loudspeakers with the Islamic Affairs Ministry, saying the speakers cannot be louder than 1/3 of their maximum capacity. Local media reported that mosques could use loudspeakers only for the Azan, or the Muslim call to prayer, and the Iqamat, the second call for communal prayer. The Islamic Affairs Minister defended the decision by saying that it had received several complaints about excessive noise. If mosques fail to implement the order, it might lead to the imposition of a penalty. The decision to impose restrictions on the use of loudspeakers in mosques has triggered outrage in the conservative Wahhabi Sunni-dominated Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. I want to know what you think about this, then. Okay, which one do you think? Like, because some people are like, "Yay, progress in Saudi Arabia." Okay, I just think like, okay, so we getting the volume of Azan in Saudi Arabia is going down. Okay. The volume of the screams of the people who are being tortured in Saudi prisons are going up, right? So anybody that is seeing this as a sign of progress, right? I just think that maybe it's because you're deaf to the actual noise that we have to worry about, and that's the sound of people screaming in pain because they're being tortured, because they have complained against this man's authority or fought for human rights. I think that's the actual sound that we need to worry about. What do you think?
You make a very astute point, Mr. Navabi. I am in complete agreement. Yeah. That's why I said modernization in air quotations, because it's like, this is how it's presented. It comes at a large cost to the people of Saudi Arabia in other forms. So yeah.
Do not see the guys, do not fall for this. This is not progress. This is a sign of desperation by a group of people who are losing money, and they are looking at, they're reading their writing on the wall. They know that oil prices will not stay up forever. And if they drop too fast, if technology advances as fast as we think, and oil is replaced with other sources of energy, these people will be desperate for money, and the power that they used to enjoy is dwindling away extremely fast, and they need alternative sources of support and income. And they are desperately signaling to the whole world that we are modernizing. But the modernization they're doing is a fake form of modernity. They are putting lipstick on a pig. They want to show signs of modernity without actually accepting Enlightenment values when it comes to free speech, when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to gay rights, when it comes to allowing people to protest, when it comes to allowing people to vote and choose the people who represents them. None of that. They're not going for any of that. In fact, when it comes to actual measures of modernity and enlightenment, they're going the opposite. They only want to signal some fake virtue signals to the world to be like, we're open for business, please give us your tourist money, please give us your investment, we promise we behave. But behind their prison doors, they're actually misbehaving more than ever before. And also in the battlefields in Yemen, they're bombing innocent women and children and even mosques, and they're using starvation as a weapon of war against innocent civilians. The current people who are in charge in Saudi Arabia are worse than the people that came before them, not better. Do not fall for this fake sign of progress. Sus.
Someone when we posted this on Facebook, had an interesting point, which I thought was I wanted to put forth this interesting juxtaposition. They posted a link to this article where a Buddhist Indonesian woman was jailed for complaining about how loud the call to prayer was. So I thought that was very interesting, like the difference in reaction. That was in 2018. And she was basically found guilty of insulting Islam. Whereas like here we have the kingdom that is the protector of the two cities, which is like, we got to turn this down. But Armin makes a very important point, and MBS says openly and publicly in his own language for the journalists for his kingdom, like, we're changing because of money. He says it openly. You're like, Armin's like, they're desperately signaling, like they say it, like they spell it out. They don't even spell it out. They just say it for you. Like it's very, it's just so obvious what's going on. Rivka?
So I do think there is one positive effect aside from people's eardrums. And that is that this could actually help with some places that are attempting to have regulation on the loudspeakers from mosques for the Azan call in Western countries or other parts of the world have been accused of being bigoted or not religious freedom. So in that sense, I think it could, because they'd say, no, look, Saudi Arabia did it, you know, the center of Islam. So it's a real thing. It's a valid complaint. It's not any kind of bigotry. Maybe. I'm just wondering if that might be, you know.
My experience with Muslim communities in Germany, in the UK, in France, in Australia, and North America is that they consider the Saudis to be the devil reincarnated. Like I don't, so they wouldn't like,
yeah. But
I know.
From the legislators' point of view, they could say, look, you know, this is going on all over the world, even in, you know, so that's something I think could be positive. But I absolutely agree with you that this is a facade to the Western world. You know, in Arabic on some of those, you know, journalists, he's saying it straight out. But yeah, it's a way to look like they're giving, you know, they're throwing pennies to the peasants. But meanwhile, you know, all these other things are happening. Yeah, maybe you can go to the movies and the loudspeakers aren't so loud, but you still, you know, are subject to all kinds of draconian restrictions on your freedom.
Yes, and also crucifixion and beheadings.
Indeed.
Yeah.
He ain't wrong.
I also wonder, you mentioned, Susanna, about some conservative reactions. I just wonder how far this is going to go. Like the Wahhabis are getting the short end of the stick here in Saudi Arabia, and I think like a lot of us are dismissing their influence as if like MBS, like Mohammed bin Salman, can come in and just like they tried this before. They tried this 43 years ago, and it backfired, and now they're making another attempt. Like Reza Shah and Mohammad Reza Shah tried to do the same thing. Ataturk tried to do the same thing. Reza Shah tried to do the same thing. Ataturk backfired many years later. Reza Shah backfired much earlier. I just don't know if Mohammed bin Salman is going to experience what Mohammad Reza Shah experienced with the, you know, with the Islamists in his country. Like I don't feel like people are acting like I'm not saying he can't, but like he's just rolling over the Wahhabis and just like ignoring their demands. These people have roots in Saudi Arabia. Like we could be
talking about like another potential like grand mosque seizure, like 1979.
I'm talking an Islamic revolution, like what happened
like in Iran. Well,
yes.
I wonder if though on some level they're not in on it, in the sense of him saying, look guys, you want to know, we got to keep the money flowing, we have to keep the control, so you know you got to give a little to get a little. Maybe maybe, I don't know.
No, these people breathe. Like when we're talking about the Wahhabis, like no, they're being completely pushed aside. They're like, we need like they're not on the same, like they're not their powers and their authority is being taken away from the roots. right? When Mohammed bin Salman comes and dismisses the authentic hadith, this is not like a short term, like, hey guys, let's just
You're right. This is
push
the
ba-
speakers.
yeah, like this is like, no, we're like completely debasing everything that gives you power.
We're gonna
Right?
open the gates of Ijtihad.
Yeah,
That's where
exactly.
we're going.
Yeah.
Not even
What's
going.
in
That's
the
where,
box?
that's where we've arrived. That's where we've arrived.
Well, and we'll see, if it does backfire on them, but at the same time, maybe the backfire will be countered by all the young people who are, by the time it gets to that point, have had it with
Yeah,
all
but
of
that's
it.
happened. What happened with Iran was the liberals who just jumped on back of the liberals used the Islamists to try to bring down the monarchs. And once the monarchs came down, the Islamists were like, guess what? We're the only organized group in town. So thank you for your help, liberals. Now we're gonna for taking down the monarch, but now we're gonna take over, right?
Thanks
So
for marching with us, but put on that hijab. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So by the way, Suze, there are some interesting comments in the live chat. Do you want to highlight them before we go to the next news?
Well, you should just go ahead if you think there's something interesting.
Okay. Let's go with this one.
Chihaya is saying you're right. They consider the House of Saud to be a. Can I even say this?
Ooh, no.
I'm not going to say that.
Okay, just read it on the screen. Next go.
Yeah, there's agreeing with you. Like it could become the next Iran.
This one.
Reza Shah and Ataturk shoved it down people's throat. Bin Salman is smart. He is testing the waters and will bring reforms over a long period of time.
Well, he's bringing he's doing reforms, but the other way around. Like he's basically he's very much the same. He's like doing fake signal. No, actually, it's even worse than
it's worse because
it's worse.
People are trying to push for freedoms. Like, is it Layla Al-Hathlul who was pushing for the right for women to drive in Saudi? She was arrested for being a radical, using coded language. And then within months of her being arrested, it was it came down from the authorities that women are now allowed to drive. And so then, but even so, she still remained in jail, being tortured, sexually abused,
like 3 more years or something.
For several more years.
No, guys, they understand. A lot of people are like, oh, Armin, Mohammed bin Salman is like, it's not, Armin thinks like it should happen faster, but Mohammed bin Salman is doing it slowly and you should be patient. No, guys, if you actually pay attention to what's happening, it's not that it's slowly moving in the right direction. It's actually very fast moving in the opposite direction. Only the things that people, like only the virtue signals that people see, like, oh, going to the movies, women being able to drive cars, women in the military, and now Azan's volume being down. These are visual, like things that the media pays attention to. But with any measurement of actual human rights, torture, death penalties, getting rid of anybody who dissents, women rights, all of the actual measures, freedom of speech, and also violating the human rights of Yemenis people and Saudi people. With the actual measurements, it's not that, oh, Mohammed bin Salman is moving in the right direction, but maybe too slow. No, it's not that. It's actually making it worse. Like this is the reform in the wrong direction. Like people, like if you don't see that, you're not paying attention.
He's like the Wizard of Oz guy. He's, behind the curtain, in the sense of doing all these things, and then in front of the curtain, oh, we'll let him drive, and the whole world will be like, yay, Saudi Arabia, welcome to the 21st century.
Exactly.
But that allows them to keep doing all the 7th century crap that they're doing, and I also think an important thing to talk about with regard to Saudi Arabia was your point about the woman who was in jail for advocating for women to drive. I think it's also a big component of any of this is that MBS and the Saudi government makes it known that only they can give or grant you anything, that you do not have the freedom, the empowerment, or any rights to ask for or to advocate for anything for yourself.
Change is not going to come democratically. That's
No,
exactly my point.
It's only from the top down, only if he grants it to you by his mercy or something.
That's exactly the mistake Mohammed Reza Shah made. He looked at Europe and he looked at Ataturk and like, I want that, right? But he wanted that while maintaining full control. He didn't understand that those things came about after certain rights, people were given a seat at the table. He was like, no, 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 no. I don't need to give democracy. I don't need to give people free speech. I don't need make people private institutions to do their own thing without my involvement. I could look at what Europe looks like, and me on my own can make all of that happen without like, and I will have the final say.
It doesn't like the look of liberalism without. It's not real liberalism.
It's not real liberalism. It's just
it's like authoritarian version.
Yes, exactly. Just the look of, you're like, oh yeah, I could, yeah, good luck with that.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Callie, you know, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.